management system. How quality management system improvement leads to competitive edge for the company and thereby benefits immensely any company that has ISO 9001 certification. Hi, this is Jagdish Kumar, Master Black Belt Six Sigma, American Society for Quality Certified Quality Professional and lead auditor ISO 9001 doing this presentation for you. Let us try to understand why ISO 9001 is important for any business enterprise. The top two reasons are: one, to gain competitive advantage. A company with ISO 9001 looks for resource optimization, wastage elimination, risk management, thereby enormously saving the money and creating competitive edge. The second reason, which is the primary objective of ISO 9001, is customer satisfaction. When I do an audit, I visit marketing department, check for customer satisfaction index. If it is increasing year on year, that means primary objective of ISO is met in that organization. With that confidence, I proceed to audit the remaining areas. The next three reasons are improved risk management. The greatest emphasis in 2015 version of ISO 9001 is risk management. Next is continual improvement. What do we mean by continual improvement is, we know where we are today. We set a target where we want to reach and also set a timeline to achieve the target. For example, my yield from a particular process is 65% now. I want to increase it to 85% in a span of 1 year. This is an example of continual improvement, which is more effective, has more clarity, more actionable. That is why ISO has a great contribution in terms of continual improvement. All the above four criteria lead to higher growth for the organization, much better than otherwise. Following are the contents I plan to cover. 10 topics where people have the maximum confusion and need a clarity in very simple terms. First, what is ISO 9001 2015? What is quality? What is a QMS, quality management system? What is PDCA approach? What is quality policy and its importance? What are quality objectives, how they are derived and how they contribute to quality policy? What are your roles in the quality management system? What are the wrong impressions about ISO 9001? What are the key elements to consider for successful and beneficial implementation of ISO in any company? And finally, what are the benefits, major benefits we realize by implementing ISO 9001? Let us understand what is ISO 9001 2015. Here, ISO is the global standard to improve the quality management system of a company, released by an organization called IOS, International Organization for Standardization. It is reworded as ISO because as we see in an isosceles triangle, two sides are equal. Here also, if my company has ISO certification, that means my quality practices are equivalent to the global quality practice required as per ISO 9001 standard. Here, number 9 stands for quality, 1 stands for requirements, means the audits are going to happen as per ISO 9001 standard. 2015 is the year of release for this standard. This standard is applicable to any industry of any size, be it a company of 20 employees or 2 lakh employees, be it a company doing manufacturing, software service, hotel, hospital, transport agency, any business can go for ISO certification. Popularity is so much that over 1 million companies spread across 190 countries have gone for ISO certification. Again, to reiterate, the primary objective of ISO 9001 is enhancing customer satisfaction. In ISO, we are required to define what are the approaches, what are the actions we do to meet the requirements of customers and stakeholders. Because unless we meet the requirements of customers and stakeholders like tax bodies, pollution control bodies, safety bodies, and so on, we cannot be in the business. So this becomes an important contribution from ISO. Now let us understand what is quality. In simple terms, quality is conformance to requirements, means meet the requirements of the customer and other stakeholders 100% and always. Now let us understand what is a QMS, because ISO improves the QMS. As we discussed, quality is conformance to requirements. Management is a application of a PDCA approach. Here P stands for planning as per Deming cycle. D stands for do, C for check, A for act. In plan, we set the objective. For example, here the objective is to establish ISO 9001 in my company. I will write action steps I will do to implement ISO 9001. This is my plan, how I will do in future to get ISO certification. Do is the implementation of the entire plan. After do phase, you get the output. You check the output in C phase to see whether it meets the requirement or not, whether we succeeded in getting the ISO certification, whether we succeeded in doing continual improvement after implementation of ISO certification. Now, A stands for actions, improvement actions. If in the check phase we find that we are not meeting the target, this PDCA approach is the mandatory requirement in quality management. This is advocated in ISO standard. Also, system here means it is a collection of all the processes in an organization. Every organization has several processes. For example, if HR process is good engineers roll out at selected for the industry. Good engineers can create good design in the design department. So you understand, output of one process becomes input for the next, and they are interrelated. Collectively, it is called as a system. If the system improves through quality management system improvement as per ISO 9001, when system improves, all processes improve. If all processes improve, all causes improve. If all causes are good, obviously the effect in terms of a high performance of the organization is also ensured. Other benefit of ISO standard is that it can easily be implemented in any organization that has other certifications like ISO 14001, ISO 27001 or any other standard. So ISO 9001 does not conflict with any other standard the company has. It only adds value. And as we discussed, the greatest strength of ISO is it focuses on continual improvement. Let us understand the importance of quality policy. Quality policy is a statement released by the top management, personally signed by the CEO of the company, and displayed on the walls or in prominent places. But that is not the intent of quality policy. A quality policy prepared is appropriate to the company, what the company is doing, and its a purpose of existence, like defense, like service to the society, and so on. Also, quality policy talks about commitment to fulfill the requirements of the customers, stakeholders, continual improvement with the focus on prevention of defects. Please remember, as we discussed in point number 1 and 2, it gives direction to the organization, and no activity we do is going to be outside the scope of quality policy. This is an interesting thing which you can also cross check. The third point, quality policy is not a confidential document. This should be known to every employee, as well as if an external stakeholder demands, you have to communicate to the external stakeholders also on a request. Quality policy is not a static document. It will have to be revised as there are major changes in the organization, or at least once in 5 years. Recommended. Also, it is maintained as a documented information. Documented information is a special word used in ISO 9001 2015 version, means to say a document that can be audited. Here, quality policy is also a document that may be audited for completeness by the auditor, because it is so important to provide a direction to the organization. Now, some of the wrong impressions about ISO 9001, let us try to understand. People mistake that it always says that the job has to be done in a particular way only. No. ISO gives you freedom to work in the way you want to work. Only requirement is you have to document or write down what you are going to do first, and then execute the job accordingly. Another wrong impression is ISO belongs to the quality department alone. For another reason, even many people think responsibility of quality lies with quality department alone. This is not true. Quality is everybody's responsibility in the organization, right from the CEO to the last level. One excuse people give is that it does not apply to my business. ISO is not applicable to my business, so I will not go for the certification. It is wrong. It can be obtained for any company, as we discussed earlier, be it a transport company, service providing company, hospital, hotel, software company, manufacturer company, whatever it is. Another misunderstanding is that everything needs to be documented. It need not be. Suppose I write in the document that I will manufacture the item as per customer standard, so and so for this particular customer, it is good enough. I need not transfer all the copyright information of the customer standard into my document. This misgiving, let us be clear on. Another wrong impression is that ISO implementation is expensive, time consuming, and it is difficult to maintain. It is not. There is initial effort to implement, but afterwards it is only benefit in terms of risk reduction, resource wastage elimination, and higher profitability. The last point on wrong impressions of ISO will be everything needs to be perfect at the start. No, no system is perfect, including implementation of ISO in any company. Let us start doing to the best extent possible. Slowly, things will mature and become perfect, maybe over a period of 1 year. Now, every individual has a role in ISO implementation, right from CEO to the last level. We discussed this. What are the things minimum that we can do? One, learn the quality policy. I am supposed to know the quality policy in my mind because that is the direction providing document, and all the activity I do, I'm supposed to review to see whether it is in line with the quality policy or not. Second, understand the quality objectives and how to contribute to achievement of quality objectives. Quality objectives are generally from 2 to 5 in numbers. They are created as continual improvement efforts from our pain areas where we are doing the worst. These quality objectives are important because they contribute to the quality policy and performance enhancement of the company. Having understood its importance, we must understand what are our roles, which objectives are applicable to us, so that we improve the objectives and targets to enhance company's performance. Third point, meet the requirements of ISO 9001:2015. As far as my activities are concerned, to implement this requirement of the standard, I will do 100%. Comply with the policies, including quality policy, and procedures, including SOPs or work instructions or engineering drawings, and so on. Fourth, if you are aware of anything going wrong in your department, in your place, called as non-conformity, at the earliest, it should be reported to higher ups, because at earlier stages, it is easy to solve than later stages. There is a lot of scope for innovation in ISO 9001. As told in point number 5, share your ideas and feedback in order to improve the implementation of ISO and enhancing quality management system. Let us now try to understand what are the benefits for our company, for our business, if we implement and get ISO certification. One, improvement of our credibility and image in front of the customer. Customer will appreciate our performance because it is validated as per global standard. Our practices then will definitely yield better results, would be the confidence that the customer will carry. Improvement in customer satisfaction, because enhanced quality management system will deliver enhanced products and services, which will definitely create enhanced customer satisfaction and his redoing of business with our company. Better process integration. All the processes cumulatively we call them as system. When the system improves through ISO, all the processes improve, and thereby the processes get integrated or contribute to one another in an effortless, seamless way. Improving of our evidence-based decision making. Decisions should not be taken based on a hunch or perception. Decisions should be taken based on the data-based decision. This is emphasized in ISO because database decision only can be a sustainable, highly productive decisions. Creation of a continually improved culture. This we have discussed already. Continual improvement means I know where I am, where I want to go, in what time span. This great contribution is from ISO. Also, it creates engagement of employees. Here, engagement means people are aware of their roles, their responsibilities, their authorities, and they are passionate to achieve them or perform. They have their own drive and happiness in performing their duties. This is the major benefit from ISO. I take this opportunity as I conclude to request all of you once again to subscribe to my channel. In this presentation, we understood what is ISO, what is 9, what is 2015, what is the organization that released ISO standard, what are the benefits of ISO standard, what ISO standard exactly is, what is quality management system and its importance, and how the implementation of ISO enhances the competitive edge of the company through better risk management, reduced resource loss, and effective quality management system. I take this opportunity once again to thank you for all your support.